The Human Spy Network. Sarah Chen stared at her reflection in the mirror. Her new face looked back at her. The bioengineered features were perfect. She had spent 3 years preparing for this mission, learning the subtle facial expressions of the Vraxian species, mastering their complex language patterns. The transformation was complete. She now looked exactly like a mid-level Vraxian bureaucrat. Even her DNA would pass their scanners. This was what Division Zero did best. They turned humans into perfect replicas of alien species. Their agents walked among the stars, gathering secrets. The year was 2157. Earth had officially joined the Galactic Alliance 2 decades ago, but they weren't trusted. Not really. Humanity needed eyes and ears in alien governments. They needed advance warning of any threats. That's where Division Zero came in. Sarah checked her credentials one last time. According to every database in the Vraxian Empire, she was Administrative Assistant Kex 427, a boring bureaucrat with a spotless record. The real Kex 427 was enjoying early retirement on a peaceful Earth colony. A generous pension had convinced them to disappear quietly. The spaceport on Vrax Prime buzzed with activity. Sarah moved through security with practiced ease. Her gait matched the Vraxian pattern perfectly. 300 years ago, humans had feared alien invasion. They had imagined wars fought with advanced weapons. The reality was far more subtle. The real threat was bureaucracy. Trade agreements that slowly stripped Earth's resources. Migration policies that gradually displaced human workers. Division Zero had learned this the hard way. Flashy spies with fancy gadgets didn't last long. But quiet observers in boring jobs, they were invisible. Sarah took her place at her new desk in the Ministry of Interspecies Commerce. Her terminal gave her access to thousands of trade reports. The other Vraxians barely noticed her. She was just another face in the endless maze of government offices. Perfect. Her cybernetic implants recorded everything. Every document she processed, every conversation she overheard, every pattern she observed. Back on Earth, analysts would sift through the data, looking for hidden threats, seeking advantages in trade negotiations. Sarah wasn't alone. Division Zero had agents in every major alien government, humans wearing alien faces, gathering intelligence, protecting Earth. The Vraxians prided themselves on their security, their quantum encryption, their telepathic scanners, their genetic verification systems. But they never suspected the truth. Humans had evolved to be the perfect spies, not through technology, through determination. Division Zero recruited ordinary people, office workers, customer service representatives, people who understood how bureaucracy really worked. Then they trained them. Years of study, learning alien cultures from the inside out, understanding how different species thought. The biotechnology came last, changing their bodies to match their cover identities. Even their brainwaves were altered to pass telepathic scans. Sarah's first major discovery came 3 weeks into her assignment. A minor scheduling change in cargo inspections, easily overlooked, but she noticed the pattern. Certain ships were being fast-tracked through customs, ships carrying materials used in stealth drive manufacturing. She tagged the information and sent it through her secure channel. Within days, Earth's negotiators coincidentally proposed new inspection protocols. The Vraxians never suspected their leak. Why would they? The proposal came through proper diplomatic channels, supported by publicly available data. This was how Division Zero operated. Small pieces of intelligence, subtle advantages, quiet victories that no one noticed. Sarah spent her days processing trade permits. She attended mind-numbing meetings about regulatory compliance. She filed reports about reports, and she watched. She listened. She remembered. Every detail could be important. Every connection could reveal a hidden threat. 6 months into her assignment, she noticed something odd. The ministry was hiring more security personnel, quietly, through different departments. The requisition orders were carefully separated, buried in routine paperwork, but Sarah's cybernetic memory could spot the connections. She sent another tag through her secure channel. This time, the analysts on Earth saw something concerning. The Vraxians were preparing for something. Similar reports came in from other Division Zero agents. The Meldari were stockpiling raw materials. The Gen Collective was expanding their fleet. Something was coming. But what? The agents dug deeper, took carefully calculated risks, pieced together the puzzle. The Galactic Alliance was fracturing. Trade disputes were escalating into military preparations, and Earth was caught in the middle. Sarah's role became more crucial. She needed to access higher-level meetings, more sensitive documents. The risk of discovery increased. But this was what Division Zero agents trained for: the ability to stay calm under pressure, to maintain their cover even as tensions rose. She arranged to work late at the office, volunteered for extra assignments, slowly expanded her access to restricted information. The Vraxians still didn't notice her. She was just another dedicated bureaucrat, working hard for the greater glory of the Empire. Then she found it, hidden in a routine maintenance schedule. A plan to seize control of key trade routes, by force if necessary. The Vraxians weren't acting alone. They had secret agreements with other species, a coalition forming in the shadows. Sarah's heart raced as she processed the information, but her Vraxian face remained perfectly calm. Even her enhanced body chemistry stayed stable. The data went to Earth through multiple secure channels, encrypted in boring trade reports, hidden in routine administrative updates. Division Zero activated sleeper agents throughout the galaxy. More eyes, more ears, more pieces of the puzzle. Humanity needed every advantage. The coming crisis would reshape the balance of power among the stars. Sarah kept working at her desk, processing permits, filing reports, playing her role perfectly. This was the reality of modern espionage. Not dramatic confrontations or high-speed chases, just patient observation and careful documentation. The Vraxian Empire had existed for 10,000 years. They thought themselves masters of intrigue and deception, but they never suspected the quiet bureaucrat in the Ministry of Commerce. They never noticed how much she saw, how much she understood. This was humanity's true strength, not advanced technology, not military might, but the ability to adapt, to observe, to understand. Division Zero had agents like Sarah throughout the galaxy, watching, waiting, protecting Earth through the power of information. The alien governments never realized how much humans knew, how deeply they had infiltrated every level of galactic society. They still saw humans as newcomers, as primitive beings barely worthy of Galactic Alliance membership. And that was exactly how Division Zero wanted it. Better to be underestimated, better to be overlooked. Sarah finished another routine day at work. She filed her reports, both the official ones and the hidden ones. Tomorrow would bring more meetings, more documents to process, more secrets to uncover. This was the future of human intelligence. Not conquering the stars, but understanding them. Not fighting aliens, but becoming them. The human spy network spread across the galaxy like an invisible web, gathering information, protecting Earth, and no one suspected the truth. That humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their military. It was their ability to disappear into plain sight, to become part of the vast bureaucratic machinery that really controlled the galaxy. Sarah Chen, wearing the face of Kex 427, smiled at her colleagues as she left the office. Just another boring bureaucrat heading home after a long day. Just one of countless human agents hidden among the stars, keeping watch, keeping Earth safe. This was the true story of humanity's place in the galaxy, not as conquerors or warriors, but as watchers, as listeners, as spies. Division Zero would continue its silent work, recruiting more agents, training them to wear alien faces, sending them out among the stars. And the galaxy would never know. The aliens would continue to underestimate humanity, to see them as simple newcomers to galactic civilization. That was exactly how Division Zero liked it, because in the end, the greatest power wasn't in being feared or respected. It was in being overlooked, in being forgotten, in becoming just another face in the crowd. Sarah Chen and all the other human agents like her would keep watching, keep listening, keep protecting. This was their true mission, not to rule the galaxy, but to understand it, to guard humanity through knowledge rather than force. The human spy network would endure, silent, patient, eternal. the greatest secret humanity had ever kept. And somewhere in the vast bureaucracy of the Vraxian Empire, a quiet administrative assistant would continue filing her reports, both the official ones and the ones that no one would ever know about, the ones that kept Earth safe among the stars. This was the truth of humanity's greatest weapon, not the ability to fight wars, but the patience to avoid them. The human spy network would make sure of that. One report at a time, one secret at a time, one day at a time. And the galaxy would never suspect, never know how much humans really saw, how much they really understood. That was the way Division Zero wanted it. That was the way it would stay. After all, the best spies were the ones no one ever noticed, the ones who blended perfectly into the background of history. Sarah Chen, and all the others like her, would keep their watch. Silent guardians of humanity's future among the stars. The real power wasn't in the spotlight. It was in the shadows, in the quiet corners of alien bureaucracies. That's where humanity's true strength lay, in patience, in observation, in understanding. The human spy network would continue its work, invisible, eternal, protecting Earth one secret at a time, and that was exactly how it should be. The greatest victories were the ones no one ever knew about. Sarah Chen smiled as she headed home. Tomorrow would bring another day of watching, of waiting, of protecting. Just another boring bureaucrat in an endless galaxy of paperwork. Perfect. The surveillance footage on Sarah's terminal changed. A new delegation had arrived at the ministry. The Gen Collective representatives moved with mechanical precision. Their crystalline bodies caught the light. Something was wrong. The Gen rarely sent physical representatives. They preferred quantum hologram communications. Sarah adjusted her posture to match proper Vraxian workplace etiquette. Her enhanced mind cataloged every detail. The Gen delegation bypassed normal security protocols. They headed straight for the minister's private chambers. Division Zero's training kicked in. Sarah activated her neural recorder. Every detail would be preserved. The Vraxian minister, Cole 989, greeted the Gen with unusual deference. The security feeds went dark moments later. But Sarah had planned for this. Her cybernetic implants picked up vibrations through the building's structure. The Gen were known for their direct approach to diplomacy. Their presence here meant the situation was escalating. She composed a routine maintenance request. Hidden in the code were her observations. Earth needed to know. 3 floors below, another Division Zero agent received the signal. Maintenance worker, Tool 556, formerly James Rodriguez. James had spent 5 years establishing his cover. He knew every maintenance tunnel in the ministry building. The Gen's arrival changed everything. Protocol dictated immediate verification of potential threats. James accessed the environmental control systems, adjusted the sensors to maximum sensitivity. The Vraxians never questioned why their maintenance staff was so thorough. They appreciated efficiency. Quantum fluctuations rippled through the building's power grid. The Gen were using advanced communication technology. Sarah intercepted fragments of data, shipping manifests, fleet movements, resource allocation orders. The pieces painted a disturbing picture. The Gen weren't just allies in the coming conflict. They were providing the Vraxians with advanced weapon systems, technology far beyond official treaty limits. James confirmed the energy signatures. The Gen representatives carried quantum core processors. Such technology was strictly prohibited by Galactic Alliance treaties. Its presence here was an act of war. Sarah composed another report, this one hidden in routine supply requisitions. The data had to reach Earth. The Gen delegation spent exactly 17 minutes with the minister. They left as precisely as they had arrived. But they had forgotten something only human agents would notice. Their crystalline bodies had left microscopic traces in the air, particles that Sarah's enhanced senses could detect. These weren't normal Gen crystal fragments. They contained encoded information. James collected air samples during his routine maintenance rounds. The evidence would be analyzed. Division Zero had suspected the Gen were developing biological weapons. Now they had proof. The crystal fragments contained engineered viruses designed to target specific genetic markers. Sarah felt a chill despite her perfect Vraxian body temperature control. The weapons could be customized for any species, including humans. She sent the emergency signal. 3 short power fluctuations in the building's tertiary systems. Across the ministry, other hidden agents acknowledged. The network activated. Division 0 had protocols for this scenario. Carefully planned responses developed over decades. Sarah accessed the ministry's communication archives, began planting subtle inconsistencies in the records. James modified environmental systems throughout the building, creating gaps in the security coverage. Other agents hidden in various departments started their own tasks. Small changes, tiny alterations. Together, they would create doubt. Make the alliance between the Vraxians and the Gen appear unstable. This was how Division 0 fought its battles. Not with weapons or armies, but with information. The Vraxian minister emerged from his chambers. His aide immediately began updating the day's schedule. Sarah intercepted the changes. Important meetings were being moved forward. Plans were accelerating. She needed access to the minister's private files, but direct infiltration would be too risky. Instead, she composed a series of interdepartmental requests, each one requiring specific authorizations. The bureaucracy itself became her weapon. Every request created data trails, access logs, security records. James planted maintenance schedules that would require testing of the minister's private environmental systems. Other agents began their own approaches, each one subtle, deniable, perfect. This was why Division 0 recruited from office workers. They understood how to navigate bureaucratic mazes. The Vraxians trusted their security systems, their quantum encryptions, their genetic scanners. They never suspected that humans had turned their own bureaucracy into an intelligence weapon. Sarah's terminal chimed with new data. The minister's aide had approved one of her requests, access granted, for exactly 7 minutes. To verify trade regulation compliance, it would be enough. Her cybernetic mind could process data faster than any normal biological system. The files confirmed their worst fears. The Vraxians weren't just planning for war. They were preparing to reshape the entire Galactic Alliance, to establish dominance through engineered plagues. The Gen would provide the weapons. The Vraxians would provide the political cover. Other species would be forced to submit, accept Vraxian leadership, or face extinction. Sarah felt no emotion as she processed this information. Her cover identity remained perfect. The data went out through secure channels, hidden in routine transmissions, buried in normal bureaucratic noise. Division 0 would ensure Earth's leaders received the warning. Humanity would be ready. But direct confrontation wasn't the answer. That would only trigger the Vraxians' plans. Instead, the human spy network would do what it did best: work in silence, from the shadows. Small changes, subtle alterations, tiny mistakes in critical systems. The Vraxian-Gen alliance would never suspect. Their plans would simply fail. Equipment would malfunction, data would become corrupted, communications would be delayed. Nothing dramatic, nothing traceable, just the normal friction of bureaucracy. Sarah completed her daily reports, both the official ones and the hidden ones. The human spy network had evolved beyond simple intelligence gathering. They had become agents of influence, subtle manipulators of galactic civilization. The Vraxians would never know how close they came to launching their grand plan. They would never suspect the quiet administrative assistant who processed their paperwork. This was humanity's true power, not the ability to win wars, but the skill to prevent them. One document at a time, one small change at a time, one quiet victory at a time. Sarah Chen, wearing the face of Kex 427, continued her work. Patient, invisible, perfect. The fate of worlds would be decided here, in the quiet halls of alien bureaucracy. And humanity's greatest agents would make sure no one ever knew. The quantum alert pulsed through Sarah's neural implants. Another agent needed contact. Maya Patel, disguised as Trade Representative Lock 771 of the Meldari Embassy, had uncovered something critical. The Meldari were supposed to be neutral, peaceful traders who avoided political conflicts. But Maya's position in their embassy told a different story. The Meldari were secretly building warships. Sarah arranged a routine inter-embassy meeting. Two bureaucrats discussing trade quotas. Maya's Meldari features betrayed no emotion as they exchanged data packets disguised as trade agreements. The Meldari weren't just building ships, they were constructing massive cargo vessels. Cargo vessels with hidden weapon systems, perfect for smuggling the Gen's biological weapons. Division Zero's network was larger than even its own agents knew. Each cell operated independently. Maya had infiltrated the Meldari 5 years ago. Her cover was deep, unquestionable. She had discovered the shipyard orders buried in agricultural supply requests. The Meldari thought themselves clever, using food transport contracts to hide military construction, but they hadn't counted on human pattern recognition, on agents trained to see connections. Sarah cross-referenced Maya's data with her own intelligence from the Vraxian ministry. The pattern emerged. The Vraxians would provide political cover. The Gen would supply weapons, and the Meldari would deliver them. A perfect triangle of conspiracy. Division Zero activated more sleeper agents, dock workers, maintenance crews, cargo inspectors. Humans wearing alien faces moved into position throughout the galaxy. The Meldari shipyards received new quality control inspectors, all perfectly documented. Their credentials were flawless, their backgrounds impeccable, their loyalty unquestioned. Each one was a Division Zero agent, carefully placed, perfectly hidden. Sarah coordinated the information flow through seemingly innocent bureaucratic channels. Inspection reports carried hidden data. Maintenance logs contained encrypted messages. The human spy network expanded its reach, invisible tendrils spreading through alien societies. Maya's next discovery came during a routine trade negotiation. The Meldari had contacted the Krix. The Krix were parasites, literal parasites who infected other species to survive. They had been quarantined by Galactic Alliance decree, confined to their home system. But the Meldari were offering them freedom, a chance to spread throughout the galaxy. The implications were terrifying. The Krix could control entire populations. Combined with the Gen's biological weapons and Vraxian political power, Sarah sent the emergency signal. Maximum priority. Earth had to know. The response came through quantum channels, direct from Division Zero Command. New orders, new protocols, new agents activated from deep cover. The human spy network had prepared for this, had trained for this possibility. Sarah began implementing Operation Mirror, the most ambitious infiltration ever attempted. Maya's position in the Meldari embassy provided crucial access, trade routes, shipping schedules. James coordinated maintenance crews across multiple sectors, creating blind spots in security systems. Other agents moved into position, each one playing their part perfectly. The Vraxians suspected nothing. Their own bureaucracy protected the human agents, who would question routine maintenance, standard inspections, normal administrative procedures. Sarah planted the first seed of doubt. A small discrepancy in the Meldari trade agreements. Maya ensured the discrepancy was noticed, brought to the attention of Vraxian authorities. The Vraxians began to question their allies. Suspicion grew, trust eroded. This was how Division Zero fought its battles, with doubt, with suspicion, with fear. The Meldari detected irregularities in their shipyard operations, small problems, minor delays. Quality control reports showed concerning patterns. Safety inspections failed for inexplicable reasons. The Gen found their biological weapons behaving unpredictably. Test results became unreliable. The conspiracy began to fracture. Each species blamed the others for the failures. Sarah watched it all through her terminal, monitored the growing chaos. Maya kept feeding information to the Vraxians, evidence of Meldari duplicity. The Meldari discovered proof of Gen betrayal, carefully planted by Division Zero agents. The alliance was crumbling, torn apart by suspicion and paranoia, and no one suspected the quiet bureaucrats who processed their paperwork. The human agents remained perfect in their roles, invisible, unremarkable, forgotten. This was Division Zero's greatest victory, a war prevented before it began. Sarah composed her daily reports, added another layer of subtle manipulation. The human spy network had evolved beyond its creator's dreams. They didn't just gather intelligence, they shaped galactic events. Maya sent the confirmation signal. The Meldari were withdrawing from the alliance. The Gen's biological weapons program was shut down. Too many accidents, too many failures. The Vraxians found themselves isolated, their grand plans falling apart. And still, the human agents worked, watching, waiting, making sure. Sarah Chen, still wearing the face of Kex 427, allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. Humanity had won without firing a shot, without raising a hand in violence. The greatest victories were the ones no one ever knew about, and the human spy network would keep winning them, one document at a time. In the shadowed depths of Division Zero's quantum bunker, Director Ilana Volkov studied the latest reports. The prevented crisis had changed everything. The network needed to evolve again. Screens displayed agent activities across 17 star systems, each one a human in alien skin. Sarah's latest transmission had confirmed their fears. Other species were developing shape-shifting technology. The Vraxians' failure had taught them a valuable lesson. Internal security needed to be stronger. New genetic scanners appeared in government buildings, more sophisticated identity verification systems. Director Volkov had anticipated this. Division Zero was already 3 steps ahead. The next generation of human agents would be even more sophisticated, even harder to detect. Sarah's infiltration of the Vraxian ministry had provided crucial genetic data. Maya's position in the Meldari embassy revealed new biotechnology possibilities. Together, they helped create Project Metamorphosis, the future of human infiltration. Dr. Marcus Wong led the development team. His laboratory hidden beneath Europa's ice, the new biosynthetic overlays would be perfect, completely indistinguishable from genuine alien tissue. But maintaining the network's current operations remained crucial. They couldn't recall existing agents. Director Volkov authorized Operation Shadow Switch, a gradual replacement of aging infiltration technology. Sarah would be among the first to receive the upgrade. Her position was too valuable to risk. The process would take months. Careful changes, subtle alterations, nothing to attract attention. Meanwhile, the galaxy was changing. Species were forming new alliances. New power blocks emerged. The Arcturians, silent for centuries, suddenly showed interest in galactic politics. Their crystalline ships appeared at diplomatic functions. Their ambassadors requested trade agreements. Division Zero had no agents among the Arcturians. Their society was completely closed to outsiders. Director Volkov initiated Project Glass Mirror, a daring attempt to infiltrate the crystalline species. Dr. Wong's team faced their greatest challenge: how to replicate living crystal with human consciousness. Sarah's role became even more crucial. The Vraxians had historical ties to the Arcturians. Ancient treaties locked in mineral trade agreements. Diplomatic protocols established millennia ago. Through her position, Sarah accessed forgotten archives. Records of Vraxian-Arcturian interaction. The data proved invaluable. Patterns emerged. Weaknesses appeared. Possibilities formed. Director Volkov selected the first candidates for Project Glass Mirror. Former geologists, crystal experts, the human spy network would adapt, evolve, survive. Deep in the Vraxian ministry, Sarah continued her work. Unaware of her crucial role in coming events, her terminal displayed routine trade notifications, but hidden patterns caught her enhanced attention. The Arcturians were requesting specific mineral rights in very specific star systems. Cross-referencing with Maya's data from the Meldari embassy revealed the truth. The Arcturians weren't just trading. They were establishing a network of quantum communication nodes. James, still maintaining his cover in maintenance, confirmed unusual energy signatures. The crystalline ships carried more than ambassadors. They contained sophisticated quantum technology. Director Volkov received the reports in her quantum bunker. The pieces aligned perfectly. The Arcturians were creating their own network, a crystalline web connecting distant stars, but for what purpose? The human spy network needed answers. Project Glass Mirror accelerated. The first crystal hybrid agents prepared for insertion. Sarah's intelligence proved crucial. She found ancient protocols for Arcturian diplomatic exchange, forgotten ceremonies, abandoned customs, tools that could open doors thought forever closed. Maya discovered Meldari records of successful Arcturian integration from before their society closed. The human network expanded its reach, probing new territories, testing new methods. Director Volkov coordinated it all, every agent, every operation, every subtle manipulation. The galaxy would never know how much humanity saw, how deeply they had infiltrated. Dr. Wong's team achieved their breakthrough, successfully merging human consciousness with crystalline forms. The first glass mirror agents began their training, learning to exist as living crystal. Sarah's next discovery shook the network. The Arcturians weren't working alone. They had allies in unexpected places. Species thought long extinct had returned. The galaxy's political structure was shifting. Ancient powers were awakening. Director Volkov initiated final preparations. The human spy network would be ready. New agents, new technologies, new methods of infiltration. The quiet war for information would continue, invisible, eternal, essential, and humanity would watch it all through countless eyes in countless places. Sarah Chen, still perfect in her Vraxian disguise, processed another trade agreement. Maya Patel maintained her Meldari cover, monitoring diplomatic channels. James Rodriguez kept the maintenance systems running smoothly. And beneath Europa's ice, the next generation of human agents prepared to join them. The human spy network grew stronger, more sophisticated, more invisible than ever. Director Volkov allowed herself a small smile. The future was uncertain, but humanity would be ready. They would adapt. They would survive. One secret at a time, one infiltration at a time, one quiet victory at a time. The quantum crystals pulsed with stored data. A century of secrets hidden in their lattices. Director Volkov faced the Division Zero Council, 7 shadowy figures representing Earth's hidden power. The Arcturians have made contact, she reported, not with our public governments, with us. They had detected the glass mirror agents, but not as infiltrators, as equals. The crystalline species saw something familiar in the human hybrids, a shared understanding. Sarah's latest transmission explained why. The Arcturians were shapeshifters too. Their crystalline forms weren't natural, they were adaptations, survival mechanisms. Like humanity, they had learned to hide, to watch, to infiltrate. For millennia, they had maintained their own network, their own silent observers. Now they offered partnership, an alliance of shadows. Maya's intelligence from the Meldari embassy confirmed the possibility. The Arcturians had helped other species before, always in secret, always hidden. Director Volkov studied the proposal, an exchange of technologies, of methods, of agents. The council debated for 3 days. The implications were staggering. Human consciousness merged with Arcturian crystal tech. Perfect infiltration, complete genetic manipulation, flawless shape-shifting abilities. The power to hide anywhere, to become anyone, to see everything. But the Arcturians wanted something in return, access to human intuition. Their crystal minds were perfect, logical, analytical, but they lacked human creativity. They couldn't improvise like Sarah, couldn't adapt like Maya, couldn't intuit like James. The council reached their decision. Director Volkov received new orders. Project Unity would begin. Human and Arcturian agents would work together. Sarah received her new assignment through quantum channels. She would be the first, the prototype, the bridge between species. Her years of perfect infiltration had proven humanity's worth. Deep beneath Europa's ice, Dr. Wong prepared the integration chamber. Arcturian crystal tech merged with human bioengineering. The process would take months, but the result would be revolutionary. Maya coordinated diplomatic coverage, creating perfect alibis for missing agents. James maintained the network's physical infrastructure, keeping channels open. The first integration succeeded. Sarah's consciousness expanded into crystalline dimensions. She remained human, remained herself, but became something more. The Arcturians shared their archives, millennia of gathered intelligence. Humanity shared their methods, their intuition, their adaptability. Together they created something new, a hybrid network of unprecedented scope. Director Volkov watched the transformation with carefully hidden pride. The human spy network had evolved beyond its original purpose. They weren't just protecting Earth anymore, they were shaping galactic civilization. Sarah resumed her cover in the Vraxian Ministry, now with enhanced abilities. She could read quantum data directly, communicate through crystalline networks. Maya integrated crystal tech into her Meldery disguise. Gaining new insights, the network expanded exponentially. Human intuition guided crystal precision. Ancient secrets emerged from Arcturian archives. Lost civilizations, hidden threats. The galaxy's true history unfolded before them, deeper and darker than anyone suspected. Director Volkov coordinated it all, human and crystal agents working in perfect harmony. They maintained the balance, prevented wars, preserved peace, not through force or diplomacy, but through knowledge, through understanding. Sarah Chen, still wearing her Vraxian face, processed another trade agreement. But now she saw more. Understood more, could do more. The human spy network had become something greater. They were the watchers in the shadows, the guardians of secrets, crystal and flesh, logic and intuition, perfect synthesis. The galaxy would never know how much they saw, how much they protected. And that was exactly as it should be. Director Volkov closed the quantum crystal archives. Another day of invisible victories. The network would continue its work. Human and Arcturian, flesh and crystal, protecting civilization from itself, preventing disasters before they began. Sarah felt the crystalline network's pulse with data, messages flowing like light. Maya monitored diplomatic channels with enhanced perception, seeing deeper patterns. James maintained both physical and quantum systems, keeping the network alive. This was humanity's greatest achievement, not conquest, not dominion, but understanding, adaptation, evolution. The human spy network had transcended its origins. They were no longer just spies. They were guardians of galactic peace, silent, invisible, eternal. And the galaxy slept safer, never knowing how close to chaos it came, never suspecting the quiet bureaucrats who watched from the shadows, never imagining the hybrid beings who maintained the delicate balance. This was their victory, their endless mission. The silent protectors, the invisible guardians, the human spy network. Forever watching, forever adapting, forever protecting. In the quantum bunker, Director Volkov smiled. The future was secure, not through weapons or wars, but through wisdom, through patience, through the perfect fusion of human and crystal, of flesh and light. The greatest power wasn't in being seen, it was in remaining hidden, in watching, in waiting, in understanding. And the human spy network would continue, evolving, adapting, protecting. One secret at a time, one world at a time, one moment at a time, forever.